Good day from Disneyland, everyone. This is the opening weekend of Rise of the Resistance. This is actually the end of the video. I'm going to go back in time talking about the experience of trying to get a boarding pass for this ride, because you got to be very precise. You have a 1 minute window to do it, and it can be quite difficult. I actually didn't get to ride it because I made one silly mistake. No worries though, because I've done it in Florida, so it's not the end of the world. I'll make sure to tell you what all of these tips are throughout the video so you don't make the same mistake and you can ride it. It's currently 7:50 right now. We're in front of the park. We're gonna go in, and it's kind of a free-for-all after that. But I'll let you know how it is. We'll check the crowds and see how things are in general. Just check out the park. So you'll see here on the app, for land status, it'll say closed. And there won't be any boarding groups yet because it is not currently 8 o'clock. Once it's 8, we'll see. Rise of the Resistance questions are answered here at the entrance. Take a look at the map they have. Very nice. It's funny, I've actually never been to a rope drop at Disneyland. And look how many people are on their phones. With good reason. Got to get those boarding passes. Something really important I almost forgot to do. You have to have your tickets linked to your account. So the newest ticket I got, I didn't have linked to it. You gotta have it linked or else you're not gonna get it in time. I'm sure there'll only be like a minute or two window to get these boarding passes today. Sorry my camera's blurry because it's autofocus. It's 8, find out more. Join boarding group, there it is. Continue. Create your party, finding tickets. So it's just me, so hopefully it goes a little quicker. That's me. Alright, that was an overwhelming 1 minute, and I probably get the biggest fail award of the day. I still can't believe it. Absolutely make sure you do this, because you really only have a minute to do this. You have to have location turned on. I never used my Disneyland app, and for whatever reason, the location was not turned on. And I didn't have a lot of time to check and set up. I literally got in here and only had a few minutes. So I got through the process, and it says, hold on, everyone needs to be in the park. So it showed the ticket I had, but it didn't know that I was in the park because my location was not turned on. By the time I went and turned it on in settings, went back, they were already gone. So it is that fast. Highly recommend you're here. You don't really have to be here that early. I mean, if you're here maybe half an hour, 15 minutes, that'll work. But make sure your stuff is set up before you get here. Make sure you have your tickets linked, and make sure you have your location turned on. Also, when I asked about information, if you have people that are all in the same group, like your whole family, have all of your tickets linked to one boarding group, because if you have them on separate phones or something, you may get separate boarding groups and not get to ride together. So keep that in mind if you're trying to ride this as well. I guess for now we'll just walk around the park, and let's actually head back to Galaxy's Edge and check out what it looks like. The infamous signs. You can see they're putting them all out now. Looks surprisingly calm over here by the castle. The refurbishment of Snow White has commenced. You can see the construction wall is up in front of the entire building. Another tip I just thought of, and I'm going to throw out random tips as they come to mind. Don't be discouraged by the extra magic hours in the morning. I wasn't even planning on coming here this morning this early to try and do this until I woke up at like 7:15, and I thought the extra magic hours from the hotel guests, because they start at 7 to 8, I thought they would get access to the boarding passes, you know, so they'd be gone. So at 7:15, just out of curiosity, I checked my phone and saw that the land was still closed. So I quickly got ready and came over here because I realized regardless of when they let people in, 8 o'clock is when boarding groups go. Every day, doesn't matter. People are coming in earlier from the hotels at 7, they still have to wait till 8 to get a boarding group. Nice to see they have stormtroopers up there. You must be talking to me. Oh. Okay. I feel like I never step in here in this First Order outpost, but is that a flame trooper helmet? I almost missed this because it's hiding in the corner, but this is the ride vehicle escape pod from Rise of the Resistance. So there's your R5 droid. You can try me, it does sound effects. You can see kind of through the front. The actual Rise of the Resistance ride vehicle is in there. Here's a better view from the back. This one's a 2-seater though. In the real ride, it's 2 rows of 4. That's pretty cool. These things also hold 4 standard figures, so you can actually put them in the ride, and they are $74.99. I'm still wondering what happened to the green Sprite one. The one day I came here, it was sitting over here. I wonder if anyone else has gone up in the cockpit. When they did the grand opening, I know they had Chewbacca in there. I wonder if anyone else has been up there for any other event. There's another sign. Maybe someday I'll come count all of them in the park. Look at this. Rise of the Resistance. I feel like that's recently been added. I just thought of another tip. The return times to get back on the ride, you only have an hour here. In Hollywood Studios, you have 2 hours to get back to the ride once you get your boarding group call. I think the main reason is because it can take a while to get back to Hollywood Studios if you park hop in Orlando. Whereas here, everything's very close by, so you really only need an hour, if that, to get back to the ride once your boarding group is called. And here's your entrance, boarding group only. I do wonder how long they will do this boarding group thing. Probably for the foreseeable future. All right, it is currently 8:39 and they've got boarding groups 5 through 11. So not even an hour open and they're up to 11. That seems pretty good. Kind of funny to me, but they have the signs back here in Critter Country. Even over at the distribution point for Splash Mountain. It's just strange, it's like in front of a specific ride. I've never seen the Mark Twain back here. Usually it's the Columbia. And they've got a bunch of scrim up going all the way around the back seating area in front of the Harbor Galley. In front of the Harbor Galley, they have a sign for the boarding groups. You can see it's up to 14, it is $8.50. They're still doing the Haunted Holiday. It's January 18th. I thought this would be done with by now. We'll see how single rider is on Indy. I've never actually seen yellow single rider tickets. Cool. Now I know they had like some language you could decipher for the ride. And I'm going up towards the exit and you'll see they have some here, but who would ever find that? Unless you're going single rider. I've got another tip. I was talking to a guy in the single rider line at Indiana Jones, and he said he was up here 4 in the morning waiting for Rise of Resistance. I told him I got here at 7:45. The reality is, it doesn't matter how long you wait. It's kind of randomly generated. As long as you're here at 8 and hit that button, you're more than likely going to get a spot. It doesn't matter how long you've been waiting. There's potential for people that have been waiting here all night to not get something just because they weren't fast enough. So keep that in mind. Getting here earlier will do nothing for you as long as you're able to get in the park at 8. This is weird. The last time I walked through here, Alice and the Mad Hatter were coming by. One of the downsides to adding new movie scenes to Star Tours is they're going to keep it the same version for quite some time, whereas usually it'd be random, but we're not going to have that for a while. Kind of unfortunate once you do it once or twice. It's 9:27 and they're up to group 21. Alright, that is going to do it here from Disneyland. Hopefully you learned a thing or two and the tips are helpful, because there's a lot to know as far as riding the ride. I see people everywhere asking questions, they have areas set up. I hope this video can help you and you can learn from my mistakes. Big thing to kind of recap here, make sure you have the app, make sure all of your party you want to ride with you have linked tickets in the app, and of course have location accesses turned on. That's what got me. I didn't have the location on, it didn't know I was in the park, it wouldn't let me get a boarding pass. So if you do those 3 things, you should be fine. Also keep in mind, you don't have to be here early. You can walk in here at 7:59 and if your app's ready to go, you can just hit that button, it's that simple, and you get on the ride. So there's no need to be here super early to try and ride it. But that is going to do it. Thank you all for watching. The caravan is moving on.